Better than the loss, I'll tell you that. We didn't have, but yeah, just proud of everybody. All the hard work, like I said, in preparation this week. It was great to put all the work in, let it pay off with a victory. I'm so, like I said in the interview earlier, I'm trying to be so appreciative, but all I can think about is, some of the runs in the game that I like to have back. But I'm always going to give homage, pay homage to the ones that came before me. Such a cool thing. I've been blessed with the teammates and coaches I had throughout the years to reach that milestone, but still more to do, and looking forward to being better.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens are back in action tonight in the NFL. A former SEC star and Derrick Henry and company looking to get the Ravens back on track. This has been a weird team because for a lot of reasons we thought this season that Baltimore will be one of the teams that is the most well-equipped to make a run for the Super Bowl. It certainly has not been that way.
No, it has not at all. And it just feels like one of those lost seasons. And it got away from them real early on. Obviously, they lost Lamar Jackson for a few weeks. They try the guy on your screen there, Cooper Rush. They see if he can get anything going. He cannot. So then they turn to Snoop Huntley. Tyler Snoop Huntley.
Yeah.
Snoop. And he led them to a big win last week. But as you can see at the bottom there, Lamar Jackson, he is back for the Week 9 matchup here against the Dolphins. There was a lot of controversy last week because, as you might remember, on the availability report on Thursday, I believe it was, everyone said Lamar Jackson is good to go.
Right.
And then it all of a sudden switched, and the NFL launched an investigation on it. I don't think they found anything against it, but still, it was just you look at who's the head coach, and you look at the last name.
Yep.
Harbaugh.
Yep.
And you just instantly think of the other Harbaugh.
Exactly. You just think, okay, what kind of games is this Harbaugh playing? Because we've seen the games that his brother played en route to the national championship there at Michigan. For this year, for the Ravens, as weird as it is, as far as their defense has not played they did not play well at all. Their offense has seemed to sputter. They still mathematically aren't out of it. And if you look at the Vegas odds, they're still the favorite to win the division, which is insane to me.
That's just shocking to me. And, I mean, Derrick Henry hasn't really had a great year. I mean, it's hard to stack up against last year when he had a 1,900-yard rushing year.
Right.
And with what Saquon did. But, I mean, you look at both Derrick Henry and Saquon, they're not having as good of years as they are last year. But still, 6 rush touchdowns, 3 fumbles, 2 have been lost for Derrick Henry. Fumbles have always been a problem for him. I go back to the Tennessee days. They've kind of plagued him, but as you can see, only one 100-yard rushing game so far this year. It'll be interesting to see if he can get back on track against the Dolphins team that's just so weird to me because they've not had a good year.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to you about this earlier. The Falcons can't figure out who they want to be.
Right.
They beat the Bills, get blown out by the Panthers, and then they lose to the Dolphins. So it's just so strange.
There has been like a real identity crisis here with this football team as they move forward. Now, this could be a big win for them, and seemingly to me, seems like Miami head coach Mike McDaniel is really kind of coaching for his job at this point because things have been really on a bad stretch. We'll flip over to them in just a second. We'll stay with Baltimore for a moment first because there's a lot of former SEC guys or guys that went to SEC institutions playing for this Baltimore Ravens football team.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Derrick Henry obviously went to Alabama. You look at Mark Andrews over at Oklahoma, and then Ben Cleveland on the line coming from Georgia, and then a few more Georgia guys, Emory Jones Jr. over at LSU, John Jenkins, and Roquan Smith. Man, I feel like that name has been brought up so often in the NFL nowadays. And then rounding it out here, Marlon Humphrey, always a good defensive guy. Malachi Starks had that great year at Georgia last year. And Nick Moore, the long snapper.
How about the long snapper there? So a bunch of Georgia guys on this football team. And it felt like the Eagles for the longest time were only going to Alabama and Georgia players. It seems like Baltimore kind of in that same vein. Right. Ozzie Newsome was a long-time general manager there, former Alabama player, played under Paul Bear Bryant. So he obviously knows SEC personnel. A lot of guys out of the SEC there on that football team. Flipping things over to Miami, you mentioned it off the top. They're a weird team because their best, and I know Tyreek Hill's not on this football team anymore, but their best seemed to me to be able to compete offensively at least with Kansas City's and Baltimore and Buffalo's and even Baltimore's. But this has been a team that has been seemingly a little lost here lately.
Yeah, and honestly, it begs the question, sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get out of Tua.
Mm-hmm.
And it begs the question, especially with the concussion history and his injury history. It's like, okay, yeah, he signed that nice contract, but is this it for him? I know there were some question marks around, will Quinn Ewers get his chance? And I know Quinn Ewers played last game, but it was because they were blowing out the Falcons. So it just it makes you wonder a little bit. And Mike McDaniel, it feels like he's coaching for his job, but I've never seen a guy more cool, calm, and collected than him.
I know.
It honestly is shocking to me.
Exactly, and there's a bunch of standouts there for the Miami Dolphins that used to play in the SEC there as well, including both the quarterbacks.
Yes, Tua Tagovailoa obviously had great career at Alabama. Quinn Ewers had a nice year last year with Texas. Devon Achane, man, when he came into the league, he took it by storm.
Unbelievable, absolutely.
And then Jalen right there, one of the two Jalens at the wideout position. There you see the other one, Jalen Waddle. Larry Borum from Mizzou, Matthew Butler from Tennessee, and Benito Jones from Ole Miss there. And then rounding things out, KJ Britt, nice there from Auburn. Tyrell Dodson, Texas A&M. Willie Gay Jr. from Mississippi State. And Minka Fitzpatrick, another guy that I was shocked that left Pittsburgh.
That's insane. I feel old now because I covered KJ Britt in high school
Really?
when he was playing at Oxford High School there in the northeastern part of Alabama.